everyone, and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint, the only West Ham United post-match football show on the internet. Oh, nearly. On the internet. The fucking worst season of my life. God's honest truth. We've just come back from the London Stadium. It was West Ham 1 and the worst team in the Premier League 1. And they should have won it, if I'm honest.
This isn't just the worst team. This is one of the worst teams in Premier League history.
That's what I said.
Ever. One of all time. And it was 1-1. And like the thing is, you picked up this worst season of my life. I was saying this to Scott during the game. This is probably even the Avram Grant season was horrendous, but I don't remember it being so boring.
Oh yeah. That's
why I think this is the worst season
this is what we were saying.
ever.
We've seen, we're West Ham fans. We've seen shit before.
Yeah.
But come on, this is diabolical shit.
Yeah.
You know, it is awful. Absolutely awful.
Yeah. And let's not beat around the bush, right? This started probably second half of last season.
Yep.
So it's not even just like, oh, well, last season was brilliant and now this season
it wasn't.
This, what we're watching, has been the same under 3 different managers now. 3.
Yep.
So whatever we want to say about Potter, listen, we'll give Potter his criticism, of course, but it's near enough the same players. We've added a few. 3 different managers, the same shit. So there's a common denominator there. That the squad we have built is not good enough, it's not balanced enough, It's too old, there's no pace, and that's what we've got to be focusing on. We can talk about Potter all you like, but he's not the main issue at this club.
A little bit today he was.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Do you know what I got from today? I'm going to tell you what I got from today. Don't trust them. Don't trust them to see out a game. You had, let's be honest, I know we was missing a couple today. Wan-Bissaka was missing. I didn't even look at the team sheet properly.
Alvarez.
We're just talking about where the hell's Alvarez been.
Alvarez weren't there. Souček was left out again, which I find quite odd. I don't know what the thinking was behind there. But we started with a pretty positive forward line, and when you're playing a team like Southampton, and this is no disrespect to Southampton fans celebrated that draw like they'd won the cup final and they've already been relegated. And I understand because they've not seen anything. They've not seen their team lose about 6 times this season.
But you know what?
Before today's, why are you laughing?
Because it makes
it funny.
It makes it even
It's
worse.
not funny.
But what makes it 10 times worse is when they played us at their place, they should have beat us there as well.
That is.
Yeah,
This is the thing.
It is. We're a joke. But you talk about the positive forward line. It was so interesting actually seeing full crew start. Considering we talked about this on Friday Night Pint, the stories that full crew can't play more than like 25 minutes because of his fitness.
Yeah.
He played like 80 today, so that was obviously a load of bollocks.
He had to play. He's got to get into fitness. You can't buy a centre forward for £25 million with all due respect, with that calibre, and not afford him to play.
Well, to be fair, Potter didn't buy him, so
No. This is
but-
the thing, and I said it to you. He's not going to get match fit by not playing matches.
Yes,
You know, at the end of the day, you want to play to last 90 minutes. He's got to start playing as long as he can in the game. You know, we've done it with Antonio when Antonio used to come back from injury. We build up the minutes. You've got to do this full crew. And let's be honest, I thought he was one of our best players out there today.
yeah. Listen,
Really did.
He's got a lot. Obviously, he got the assist.
Yep.
He's a proper striker.
Yeah. He looks to bring everybody into the game. And again, you see today in that first half, there was times he pressed with Kudus and Paquetá. No one else fucking pressed.
No. And that is so weird because Ward-Prowse, that first game he came back, you saw something through him, but he's been so poor, and he was one of the players, when he was here previous under Moyes, he was like the one player you could count to press.
Yeah. And this is what I don't understand. We complained there weren't an identity under Lopetegui, right? I'm now, and I said that I started to see an identity under Potter. I'm struggling to see it. I really am. We are hard at the beat, but there's nothing about
I'm going
us.
to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? That weren't good today. That wasn't good by a long shot. But to be fair, the whole season has been absolutely. Make sure you stays on, please.
Right.
The whole season has been a write-off. Look, the Premier League's done. The whole thing's done. Yeah, the relegation is sorted. The
league's done.
The league's done. The European places, they're shuffling, but the same teams are going to be in the European spots, yeah? There ain't a lot of movement there. The whole league's been fucking tepid this season. And we've been, let's be honest, we're 17th for a fucking reason.
Well, I think we're 16th now.
By default.
But we've got game in hand,
Yeah, but make sure that stays on.
That's not sustainable, though. We have to do that every 30 seconds.
Just leave your thumb on there, please. But and that's the thing. The whole league is. But you see it in the performances today. I was sitting level with that pitch, and I see the effort level some players put in, and this includes Bowen, our captain, and they was low. Kudus, effort levels low. Paquetá, effort levels low. I don't know whether it is that they thought they was going to just turn up and roll Southampton over. If it is that, when they're sitting 17th in the league, they should be fucking disgraced with themselves, because they are the effort levels that should take you down. And I've seen it take us down. And that is not good enough today. And I mean this with Southampton should have beat us today. They should have beat us. They
hit the
team.
crossbar.
But look at our run of form, right? Look at our run of form since Potter's come in. Right? That's relegation form.
Yeah, it is.
That's relegation. Any other season, the way we're playing, we'd be down there.
Yeah,
we would be down there in that bottom.
But you would like to think if Potter was here from the start and he got his players in, like I said,
look, I was very hesitant with Potter. He turned me around. We have become harder to beat. I'm not going to be overcritical of him. I am going to be overcritical of him on today's game.
Yeah.
You know, but the players, you can't put a performance in the way we did that second half against Liverpool last week and come here and play that shit.
But we have.
Yeah.
Several times. And that is worrying.
Yeah.
For me.
And that there's no excuse for that. That is literally players putting themselves in the shop window against the big boys and thinking they're going to steamroll teams like Southampton.
Yeah.
And I don't understand, as a footballer, right? You've played football, I've played football. You never want to lose a game. Even halfway through, towards the end of the season, you never want to walk off that pitch losing, right? You fucking hate it. They don't give a shit.
Yeah,
and
no
this is
pride.
the thing, they do not care. And that is what pisses me off the most. We come over here and watch it, right? It's been depressing this season watching West Ham, right? We come over here and watch it, and they just don't care. And that is what pisses me off the most out of all of it. They don't give a monkeys, you know, and it's just.
But
wrong.
this is, and again, we go back to the beginning of the season. I'm not going to slag Jared off too much. You know, Jared is probably going to be out.
But to be fair, without him this season, we probably would be in the bottom three.
And he scores a goal. But this is where captains come into it. This is where captains come into it. If I was a captain of a team like that, and they put in a level, and he ain't no exception, right? Yeah. He ain't no exception today, yeah. And they put in a fucking thing. I'd be dragging people off that fucking pitch, especially when they run down a fucking tunnel full time.
Yeah, but
booze. I would be dragging in people. I'll be fucking fighting him in the changing room.
This is what I said to Scott though. Them type of captains are very rare.
They are rare.
Go through the one. Go through the 20, right? How many teams have that sort of captain?
That's it. But sometimes
hardly any.
The thing is, sometimes your captain hasn't got to be your best player. It can just be the person that shows that leadership.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That level of leadership. If I was to go through every team in the league and you go, right, their captain, is he that sort of captain? Is he that? It's just, I don't know. It's not in players now.
But
players, it's a different
but a
world
captain
now.
that even if you ain't got that in you show by example. You show by example.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair on Bowen, he has done a lot of times this season. You know, he has done that a lot of times. Today wasn't one of them days, and today was one of them days where we needed him. Look, he got the goal. It was a good finish. You know, full Krug with the assist. It was good that he got the assist.
That was a classic Bowen goal.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just sometimes you need more. And all right, we could be sitting here, we could be wanting too much from him, but I think Dave got it right in the fan cams that he did. You know, take the captaincy off him because he's a better player without being captain. Do you know, and that's the thing. It's too much pressure on him.
I think that's a theory. I don't know whether if you take say Jared didn't have the armband today, if we would have seen a different Jared. And the problem is, and this is the thing, I went and watched an interview with him. It was like a Sky Sports thing, and he said being named West Ham captain was like the best achievement. Next to the trophy, he said the trophy and being captain are the and the England call up best things. And if you took that captaincy off of Jared, you're killing him. That would kill him.
And I understand that.
Maybe you could argue we should have put it on the first place, but now it's on him. He is our best player.
Yeah. But you've got to look at the facts.
And
he's a captain that's just led us to 17th in the league.
Oh yeah, but I think that's harsh to say because we put on when we say Rice captained us to a trophy. Well, he was really poor in the final.
Of course he was.
Like the captain of nowadays, it's not the role it was before. But with Bowen, if you took it off him, who do you put it on? You
no
look
one.
at that.
No. I'm
that's
not
what
saying, but I'm just saying what Potter needs to do in the summer is he needs to go out and find someone, because that talk about 4 players in the thingy, we need. I don't think we need a goalkeeper. I really don't. But I think our defence needs to be better. Yeah. I think with a better goalkeeper, I think we improve the
Goalkeeper's not a priority.
No.
If you can get a quality keeper, and I tell you what, if we go near that fucking Ramsdale, mate, I am
Did you see him
done.
today?
Oh, he's a clown.
Did you see him today?
Yeah,
he was all over the fucking
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
And even the goal he should have done better with.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
honestly, mate.
People question me about my you know, someone done it today as I was walking here. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? Your Ramsdale criticism. Absolutely fucking not. You know, that is one of the worst goalkeepers in this Premier League. Listen, he can have all the athleticism and all the fucking energy and all of that in the world, and the showboating and all that. Yeah, 4 relegations in 5 seasons says fucking something about the geezer.
Listen,
Yeah.
if he was that good, he would have stayed at Arsenal. I thought he was shocking at Arsenal. Arsenal fans raved about him.
They rave about everyone.
Yeah, I've never ever seen anything in that player that would warrant the amount of like praise that he gets as a goalkeeper. He's bang average. It's always about him, and you know that's why he's been relegated the amount of times he has.
Yeah, honestly, if we go anywhere near him, I will be so checked out of this new project. I'm giving it a chance. This Macaulay Potter, whatever. I will be so. I'd rather keep Fabianski as a second, and stick what we've got than get him. Like I'd give Fabianski another year, then get Ramsdale.
No, that's a bit of ambition. Go and get a big goalkeeper.
No, but the thing is,
Look at
that's not.
Aston Villa.
Yeah,
They went and got Martinez. He's the best in the world as they fucking proclaim him.
Well, yeah, I don't know who's out there that's available in terms of like top level keepers, but what I'm saying is that's not a priority. What I do think's a priority, Scott, is that fucking midfield.
Yeah.
Have you turned around on that now,
I'm
Scott?
starting seeing that. We do need some midfield legs.
Midfield was a fucking disgrace today.
The thing is, right, can someone explain to me what Soler was doing when Ramsdale's miles out of his
He's
goal?
at the halfway line.
He's on the halfway line and he turns back.
The thing is about him,
know what?
everyone said shoot, yeah? And this would have been 2-0, that would have been game over, right? 90th minute, so everyone said shoot, right? He turns around, he don't even run at him.
That's what I
He
said.
turns
run
around.
at him.
Yeah. And that for me, right, it epitomises the whole season. People have got no bollocks to take responsibility.
No.
Shoot. The very least you do is
that
waste a minute of time.
Yep.
That is the epitome of cowardice in a
Cowardice.
player.
Yeah, it's
That's
cowardice.
what that is.
I don't want him here. There's a lot of them. I can name on my hand now. I don't want Mavropanos here anymore, right? Soufal, I thought he'd done all right today. His contract's coming to an end. Don't
There
want
you
him here,
go.
really. He's not going to do anything. I don't want Will Prowse, if I'm honest. He ain't done nothing for me. He's been the best of a fucking bad bunch. I don't want Soler. I don't want Kudus. And I don't want
Rodriguez.
Paquetá.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the ones that played
yeah.
today.
And
And for me, and I mean this with the greatest respect, I've had, and I know I'll get a bit stick with this, right? And I told you this on the way here. I had more fun at my dad's funeral than I've had at West Ham this season.
Yeah.
And that is saying something.
At funeral, you get a good wake after, you have a drink, you remember the good times.
And
Listen,
I mean that with a pinch of salt, obviously.
Yeah.
But I've had more fun at my dad's funeral than I have had at West Ham this season, and that is because of them. Overpaid, overhyped. And we was all guilty of it at the beginning of the season. All guilty, thanks, Scott. All guilty of it at the beginning of the season. Overhyped, overpaid. The balance of the team, the midfield, is a fucking disgrace. It's a disgrace. Yeah. And they should be looking at it and saying, why they didn't go out? I mean, Evan Ferguson, fuck me. I think you'd be better than him.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now, right?
Yeah.
Just absolute waste of time, waste of money. We need a whole big rebuild here. It worries me how big the rebuild is.
After spending 150 mil.
This is
Yeah,
and
but
150 mil is a drop in the fucking ocean when you're thinking about, like, there's players that go for 150 mil. That's what Arsenal should have spent on Rice. 150 mil. 150 mil is not a lot of money in today's money, yeah?
Well,
and when you're saying about we're skint and all that, listen, I would be going all out to sue that fucking FA for that 100 million quid.
Yeah.
Because on today's performance, we're not getting anything near that for him. Yeah.
We'll be like
Kudus is the fucking same.
With Kudus, and this thing, I know like there'll be a lot of fans upset, especially Ghanaian fans. Listen, I've been a big supporter of Kudus, big defender of Kudus.
Player.
But this season, and I often said, oh, it's because he's playing on the left. This season, no matter where he plays, most games, he's just not doing it. And I look at today, and the fact that he played well against Liverpool, and then you go and put a performance like that in against Southampton, it's not good enough.
It's not
good enough.
It's not only him.
No, it's not only him. Him and Paqueta,
I watched
both
him,
of them are not good
him
enough.
today attack him. And we watched it. It was right in front of us, all three of us. We were standing in the same place here. We're attacking Southampton. There's one person moving. One.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I see Emerson. I see Kudus. I see Paqueta. All just standing there watching.
Yep.
Just looking.
Or walking
when they should be fucking running.
Case in point, right, was the one where the ball come out to the left and Kudus is out left and Emerson's there and they play the ball Kudus and he lets the ball go out of play before he crosses it. You know, if he actually burst the pace in, which we know he's got, he crosses that in.
There is so
It's
many
just-
people in this fucking, and it's a fucking disgrace, to be quite honest with you. The money they earn and the fucking pedestals they've been put on, right? And you know, every football team can say this. Like, I'm not just going to put it on West Ham. Every football team can fucking say this, yeah. But it is a fucking disgrace to come over here, waste your time to come over and watch these prima donna cunts trying to run around in football because they're not running.
No.
Do you know what? I can forgive lack of effort. No, I can forgive lack of talent.
Yeah.
I can forgive lack of fucking ability. I cannot forgive lack of effort.
But we've
I
seen
can't.
that they can. This is what I'm saying. Me and Scott, we did the watch along for that first Potter game, right?
Oh.
We was buzzing. We was like, "What the fuck is this? It's amazing!"
Yep.
And it's like, where is
team-
that?
Gone?
Any
Where was it
team-
gone?
It's like what? Just because Somerville the fucking
Any team that is sitting 17th in the league at the beginning of the day, playing the bottom team, one of the worst teams in the Premier League, right? And you've got a chance over the next 6 games to raise. We've still got a chance to raise up to
Yep.
13th, 12th,
Yep.
13th. Yeah, if we put in that's the bottom. That's the worst team we'll play all season at home, and you cannot get up for that. Fuck them all off.
Yeah, and
Fuck 'em all
that's
off.
the problem, mate. Is we were saying this last night when we were doing FMP. You know, you sit there and look. If we got a win today, even if it was a scrappy win, we got a win today.
No, we needed to win convincingly.
Yeah, but what
we
I'm
said
saying
this
is-
last night.
Yeah, but you get a win, right? That would have been nice. You know, going into Brighton ain't his game, but they're you can get a result there. You're playing Spurs, slap bang in the middle with two. Their first and second leg semi-finals, and then you've got Man United off the back of a semi-final, right? Where either their mind's going to be on the final,
final,
or they're going to have that European hangover, right? So you've got a bit of an advantage there. So you've got the chance to like we said, push ourselves up. But the fact that we could finish above both of them clubs, that's the big thing. We could end up finishing, if we just put the effort in, we could finish above Manchester United, finish above Tottenham. And then you look at that, and the season's been crap, but if you end the season on a high, everyone then is going, do you know what? Yeah, it was a shit season, but we finished, above this side. We looked at, we've seen some progression. We've seen where we're going. We can see come start of next season where we're going to go from. Now you're not seeing nothing.
But
do you know what I mean? You're not seeing anything.
But do you know what the worry is? The problem is, it's our home form is worrying.
Yep.
And this is the thing. I feel like if that was at Southampton, we probably would have won today, because we turn up. You look at even all season, our home form, and even under Potter, it's especially bad because the atmosphere in there, the whole vibe, like the majority of the team fans are coming. You're coming knowing you're going to be in for a shit time, and there's nothing to get up about. And it's
But
just,
I think that's going. I think that's an infinite circle.
Yeah.
I think the players are coming the same thing.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is shit there. There's nobody cheering. Nobody wants to see us really win. We've not really performed this season. We know we're going to be in for a fucking bit of stick if we don't win. And I think it goes in an infinite circle.
Yeah.
It's just one of them ones where someone's got to change it.
Yeah, when the chips are
And it
down.
should be the players.
And to be fair, we was at that night, weren't we, with Ginger Nolan. And Jim said, sometimes when you're not doing well, you play better away from home because there's less pressure, because you haven't got the fans there and stuff like that. And but there's no real pressure at the minute. We know we're not going to go down, even though, look, listen, Ipswich pick up a result. I don't know what the results are if they play today, but
no, they don't.
no. And this is the thing. You're sitting there, they win a game, and then you're sitting there looking, as I said to you, Where is
Who
our
we got
next
last
win?
game of the season?
Yeah, where is
Forest.
our next win? No,
Oh, Ipswich.
Ipswich.
Oh, Ipswich away.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Where is our next win coming from?
That's
Because
what I said to you, yeah.
they only need to win a game, and then they're looking and saying, "Hang a minute, West Ham are pretty poor."
Still 3 points off of us.
If you
That's a 6
cannot
point
beat,
difference.
if you
what I'm saying.
cannot beat one of the worst teams in Premier League history at home, who can you beat?
Listen, as what you were saying about effort, right? That team's renegated. Look at the effort. I know you.
It happens, though.
Yeah,
That
of
does
course
happen.
The pressures, and this is what I'm saying to you. The pressure's off, and all that type of thing. And they said you've been in situations before where, look, I've been in teams playing. I know it's a completely different concept, Saturday, Sunday league football, but I've been in teams where you're the top team. You go and play the team at the bottom. You end up playing like you're the team at the bottom.
Yeah, but the problem
Right,
is
you get it?
we're not the top team,
No,
Scott.
no,
we're
no.
also a
The
team.
bottom team.
Yeah, but we're also a team. Is
Yeah.
in theory, the pressure should be off because we're safe. So
Yeah.
the pressure. So why aren't we playing like that? Because at the end of the day, it's like these players. They're
I
players.
don't think there's a.
Give a
I'm
fuck.
going to be honest with you. I don't think there's a lot of people with pride out there.
There's no pride, no
it's no
self-respect. Honestly, I do not relate
know-
to this team. I don't recognise.
I
this
think
as a
that
West
they look
Ham
at the manager, and I think this is my theory. I think they look at it and think, I don't fit under this manager. I don't fit here. I know I'm not going to be here. I know there's going to be a major rebuild. He's brought his own coaching staff in. He's brought his own scouting staff in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here next season. Like, there's nobody. I even think like people like Kilman might not be here. You know what I mean?
The
Like,
thing is, if I was your fucking agent and you played like that and think, well, I probably won't be here next season, so I'm just gonna coast in, I'd fucking slap the shit out of you. Because I'm like, hello, wait a minute, you fucking play out of your skin and fuck off. They fuck you off next season.
But-
You're gonna get a better deal, you idiot. You're gonna get a better club.
But the thing is, though, it doesn't work like that modern day footballers because it's a job.
they'll get it anyway.
It's a
but the
job.
thing
They'll
is,
get it anyway.
at the end of-
no, but look at
no,
it, right?
but-
Kudus, right? Say no, but let's say
Yeah, go on.
Kudus, right? When Kudus last season, right,
Yeah.
was playing brilliant. Imagine if Kudus had another season like that, yeah? He'd have the top clubs beat. He'd have more options, and the more options you have,
Do you
the
know
more
what?
bargaining and
the option,
negotiating.
the option,
power,
the
yeah.
option that his agent will want is to go to Saudi.
No, but the problem is Saudi are going to be in a situation where, well, he ain't been that great. We'll give you this
They don't
offer,
give
take
a
it
shit.
or leave it. If he was brilliant, yeah, but you say that
Nah,
they'd
they
be
don't
much
give a
more
shit.
stringent. They'd be much more stringent.
Unfortunately, mate, I think it all,
I hope he goes Saudi.
it all boils down to the fact of, listen, if I go out there today, I'm earning my 50, 100 £100 a week. If I play shit,
Can.
or if I play well, grand.
And you
So-
can.
He's
Yeah.
playing like a
And-
player that should fuck off to Saudi.
Yeah,
because where's the...
This is the thing, and this is with modern day football, and this is where it's completely fucked, and it's going to continue to be fucked. Is you've got too many people earning far too much
Yeah.
money
For
and
average-
they don't
for
give a
average
shit.
performance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
An average Premier League player is earning 40 to 50k a week.
And
Why-
Paqueta is...
listen.
That was the top players, wasn't it?
Do you know what I mean? I'll go and listen. I'll play football 34 grand. I don't give a shit if I kick a ball again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm happily sit on the bench. I'll let me be a squad player and not fucking do anything.
Yeah, I know.
And that is the problem. It's the whole thing of the Premier League now is fucking ruined because of the amount of money it is. And as I said to you last night, when this City thing and they City get off with all this, watch it all collapse and all explode. And I fucking hope it does.
Well, it should.
Really do.
But-
it's just ruining
yeah.
football. It's killing. Football has become boring.
Yeah, it
And
is.
this is the problem. Football is so
Yeah,
so
but a lot of
boring.
it is because of City and Pep, because everyone wants to be fucking Pep.
But
Everyone
that's
wants to
it.
play at the back in control and
stop
pass
being
and
Pep.
pass sideways.
You know, Pep is Pep. Pep comes into the best club with the best players with the biggest budget and does what he does. He can't do that with a Southampton. He can't do that with a West Ham.
Yeah.
Right, so get out of his arsehole and play what suits your football club. Stop trying to play with a fucking centre half that can't fucking pass the ball. All he can do is hoof it long and head it clear, and you're asking it to play at the back. Play
Yeah.
what suits your team, not what suits fucking Pep Guardiola.
That's the fucking thing, isn't it?
Exactly.
Everything's play out from the back. Everything's sideways, backwards,
So that's
control.
bollocks. The thing you can look at Leicester when they won the league. Ranieri had bollocks. He played 4-4-2. 4-4 fucking 2. Imagine a team playing 4-4-2 now. And this is what does me in. We ain't got to copy
What did they do?
the top
They won the
coaches.
league.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You haven't got to copy Pep and play the way Pep does. League 1, they're playing like Pep. League 2, they're playing. You ain't got the players.
Yeah. This is.
Do you know what I mean? Go back to old school football.
And it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not entertaining football.
no.
It's possession isn't necessarily entertaining.
Exactly.
What we played under Moyes wasn't possession, but it wasn't entertaining.
Nope.
But it's about.
Listen, it was more entertaining than that.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. Well, not second half of last season. It
No,
was similar.
but, yeah.
Sideways, backwards.
Yeah.
It's that sideways. I hate that. Get the fucking ball up the pitch as fast as possible.
Get the players
That's
up the
what
pitch as
for.
fast as
Exactly.
No one attacks, mate.
11.
No
we-
one presses.
Listen.
That first game against Villa,
Yep.
we
We
pressed.
pressed.
We was winning the ball in there.
But not only that, though,
man.
right? Not only that, again, right? Under, Moyes, Allardyce, Pellegrini,
pressing his
not
button.
Pellegrini. Who's that one we just got rid of? Lopetegui
Lopetegui.
and Potter. Defending a set piece, 11 men in the box. From kick-off, what do? Hoof it long to the tallest player in the fucking pitch. Yeah, to be fair, we done that in the fucking village.
Yeah. I don't know what
Why
that's
are we
about.
still playing the same thing that hasn't fucking worked for a long period
And do you know
of
what
time?
the funny thing is? I watched that because we mentioning like we had 11 in the box. They didn't have all their players in the
Nope.
box.
No,
So
why are we
have
defending with 11 each?
Well, yeah. Why have we got to have so many more players
You
than them in
see
the box?
Fulkrug, right? They had a corner. I think they had a corner, right? And Fulkrug's turning around and he looks at Potter and he goes, "Am I staying up here?" Potter goes, "No, get back there," right? If I'm Fulkrug, I'm going back there. I'm saying to fucking Kudus, "Listen, mate, get the fuck up there. You're one of our quickest players. We get the ball. Arioli gets the ball. Bump. You're gone. You're in the corner, run into the fucking corner." Old school football.
But do you know the problem is with
one.
a big problem of modern football is it's
walk it.
more about not losing than winning.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course it
And
is.
that is the approach
course
that
it is.
nearly every team
Yep.
has, because it's going into it thinking, shit, right, I need to set my team up, not lose first.
Yep.
Rather than like back in the day, it was like fucking goal, we get the goal. Now it's about shit, not concede. And that's the big problem. That's why you have a 0-0 with Man City and Man United, because
Because neither wanna lose.
they don't want to
Exactly.
lose. So no, they're not taking risks.
The big games in the Premier League used to be entertaining. The big teams playing each other now, they hype it and hype it. The hype is more entertaining than the actual game.
Because they go there and you think, fuck, I dare not lose this game.
Exactly. And that's it. And it's just got to
you
stop.
know,
It's just got to stop.
But I tell you what, I give credit, because that when we had all them players in the box, one of the corners, Guilherme done brilliant on
Yep.
the break.
Yep.
It got to a point where you had two players closing him
Yep.
down. But that's the burst of pace that we need.
But the thing is that it's like with what we said with Soler, where he cut back. You know, no one knocks it into space and tries to run onto it. Do you know what I mean? It's always
Yeah.
close control, and you're slowing down because you've got the ball under close control. You can't run it. Just fucking hit it and run. Do you know what I mean? Just put it into that space and try and outpace the defender. Because as an attacking player, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be quicker than the centre half.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be quicker than the fullback.
Yeah.
So just hit it.
Oh.
And that is what Soler done wrong. If he weren't going to shoot when Ramsdale was out of goal, hit into the corner, run onto it. He ain't slow.
But we do that so often. I said to you, we're so predictable and
Mate.
easy to defend against.
Yes, exactly.
Because-
And again, under
let's be
Potter, under
honest, though.
Lopetegui, under
But
Moyes.
let's be honest, what is he doing on the wing?
Who's Soler? Don't get it.
What is he doing on the wing?
Mate, I honestly
And
don't
Lopetegui
understand.
put him there as well.
Yeah, but I
get
don't
it.
understand why we took Fulkrug off and made that change there and then put Bowman up front, Soler out wide, only to then go 5 at the back and put Soler back in the middle.
Yeah.
It's pointless. The game management today is fucking awful.
Yeah.
It was absolutely awful.
But the thing is, I looked before the subs were made. I looked at the bench and thought,
Was Danny Ings
"What
on the
is he
bench?
going to do?" No, I don't think he was. I don't
Listen,
think he was.
I
Fulkrug,
think some of them have gone off to fucking.
I would rather have, even though Ings is fucking off, I'd rather have him than Ferguson. To be honest.
Fulkrug for me needs a strike partner. He needs a 2. He needs to play up top with
No,
someone
but
to
no,
benefit.
I don't think so. The 3 would work, but the other 2 have got to work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
is what in that game Somerville gave you. Somerville's
given
work
work
rate.
rate.
So what he allowed is full crew could drop deep, and then Somerville could fucking overlap and go forward and link up with
But even
Kudus.
Kudus looked good in that first
So-
game. You know, it's
yeah,
hard because
but look at it, it was the
Kudus
partnership with
makes it really
Somerville.
yeah, come on, mate, you're right. Fulkrug only played 20 minutes in that game. But for that 20 minutes, we looked.
No, he played
absolutely
more than
unbelievable.
that.
He went off injured early.
Yeah, but it was more than 20 minutes.
All right, well, 21 minutes.
all right.
But do you know what I mean? And this is the thing, you can't. We're so. There's players there.
predictable.
We are. Too
We're predictable. We're
It's the-
slow.
yeah.
Yeah.
We are. There's stats and all that. 20th at this and 20th at that and 13th at this and 17th at that. it's not by it's by design by the players.
We don't have intelligent football players. Like, and
I
that's the problem.
said this,
No, we do. We do,
No, bro,
and that's why they're not putting in
No,
effort.
we don't have enough.
We have one intelligent
They don't
football
have
player, the
football
rest
I-
are not on that level.
Yeah, they
That's
don't have
thing.
the football IQ. Do you know what I mean? That's why it's sitting there, because their brain moves so slow. It's not their body. Some of their bodies are slow, but a lot of them, it's their brains too slow to make the decision quick enough, so they fucking passing sideways and backwards.
Yeah.
So listen, there's a lot of players like Paqueta. I think is so talented, but I was saying this. I don't think I've seen even 5-6 games in a row where you could say, "Wow, what a run." You see a game here and there where you think, "Wow, he's brilliant."
Yeah.
But when do you ever see a run of games where you go, "Wow, Paqueta"? Like, he should be our Payet.
Yep. Yeah,
Like,
because he's got the talent to be
He's
that.
got the talent,
Yep.
but you never see, like, Payet dragged us through
He
games.
checked
Payet-
out. He's checked out though.
No, but I'm
checked out.
not
But even-
from
but
day
even checked
one.
out.
No,
Even
but
before he
Nick,
was
from
checked out.
day one. I have not seen Paqueta have a run of games where you think
He was shit at the
he's
beginning.
won us.
He was shit at the beginning.
He's shit, and
Second half of that season when we won the cup, he was brilliant.
yeah,
He
but
was
even
excellent.
even then, Nick, I can't say game after game after game after game where he was brilliant. Payet,
But
you knew every season, you were every game. Sorry,
I hate to say
he's
this
going to
as
be
well.
brilliant.
One of the players we've missed this season is Antonio.
That's depressing.
Because
That's
he would give you an
depressing.
honest shift.
Yeah.
He would give you an
yeah.
honest shift,
Yeah.
and that is.
I think that's a bit of revisionism in a way.
Yes,
Because,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
before he did get injured, we was all saying like,
He's got to go. Yeah, he's got to go. Yeah.
But I'm not saying like we do miss him in a way, because I always think off the bench, before he got injured,
Yeah,
he was better off the
but
bench.
Today, he would give you an honest shift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if he come off the bench instead of Ferguson, but
Yeah.
come off earlier, I think he could have done something.
No,
What, it was when he was starting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, for Antonio now at the age that he's at, he shouldn't be a starter, but off the bench, he gives you something. The problem for me is, like we were saying last night, with his being offered a new contract and all that, he ain't $100,000 a week player.
No, he's not.
And this is the thing, and this is why he can't be given a new contract.
That's it. That's the problem with football players. Like, as they regress,
Yeah,
you
their
can't
wages.
you can't
Their
put their wages
No,
wages
down.
but they need to. But
They're
he can't,
still at
he
that
can't
level.
be there now. You know, we have missed him this season. We really have missed him, and he would have been important. And you know what happened is you know
Tragic.
terrible. Yeah, it is. It really is. And I want to see him play for West Ham again,
So do
but
I.
not on $100,000 a week.
He's up there. Look, if you don't think he's a legend, he's a cult hero. He'll always
Listen,
be one of
listen,
our own.
He's
our
won
own.
a trophy. He was our leading Premier League goal scorer up
Well, he
until
still is now.
Yeah.
Bowen ain't overtaken.
Bowen ain't
him yet.
overtaken. Do you know what I mean?
Still
And
is, yeah.
you can't knock that. And there's been seasons where we've needed that man.
Yeah.
And I'll always be grateful for it, you know. But
And he's played wherever he's been asked.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
on the wing, right back, up.
Yeah.
front.
and listen, and the one thing you can say to him,
Left,
some of his
What we need to-
games have been poor, but he's always put shift in.
What we need to
Yeah.
go out and find, Scott, is honest players.
Yeah, of course.
And there ain't a lot of honest, hard-working players in that side.
No.
I'm sorry, but there
No.
isn't. I mean, people was laughing at the time, and I said I made excuses for him. But when you see Ward-Prowse getting outpaced by a goalkeeper on the halfway line, that don't bode well, mate. You know what I mean? Because any midfielder in the planet should be able to make a ball past the goalkeeper.
And the thing is, though, Nick, as well, when you look at it, you've got, you know, case in point with Modric for Real Madrid. The guy's 40, still pulling the strings,
Yeah.
but he's got players around him that do all the work, so he ain't got to do the work. And this is a problem, to have someone like Paqueta in the side who you want to pull the
Who
strings
can,
for your side.
who can.
Yeah, you need to have two bodies around him in that midfield that are going to do all the
The
dirty
good
work.
work.
Yeah, you know, Alvarez does a lot of it. Alvarez does a lot of the dirty work in there, but
Do you know-
he doesn't stick to
do
it.
you know what?
You've got to admit this. You've got to admit this now. We miss Rice.
We do.
We miss Rice's
Yeah, of course
dog
we
work.
do. Yep.
Because, like, I know, listen, Rice, I always have special place in my heart for Rice. I know he's back for Arsenal, and I know he's doing this, and I know he's doing that. But you cannot deny, since we've lost it, we've lost the legs. The legs are gone. He has got legs.
Him and Souček in our midfield, they had legs, the pair of them. You know,
Souček's old now.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's the thing. Souček run his nuts off, and that's one thing you can't ever doubt Souček on. Souček put the effort in, game out. You know,
Yeah,
he
of
weren't the best ball. He's not the best baller, but
He
know
put his
he
effort
gets 100% every single game. He put 100% in,
Yeah.
and
He doesn't, and
He doesn't pull up any trees.
The thing is, difference between him and Rice. Rice reads the game well.
yeah, of course he does.
Souček doesn't.
Rice is the better player.
Yeah, no, but
That's
what I'm
it,
saying
Rice is
is,
a better player.
yeah,
But-
Souček, he is a good finisher.
Yep.
And his movement and all of that off
Would've
the
stuck him up front
but
today.
you know what the thing is, off the ball
Yeah.
and finishing, Souček is really good. It's when he gets the ball,
He's not-
he's
exactly.
terrible.
But
Yeah, but
that's the
even
thing.
under Potter, you've seen improvements. I can't realise why he's not playing.
I don't get it. I
But
don't get it.
this is
To fit all
why
passing.
I would rather play Souček up front than Ferguson. And I remember ages ago I said on Friday Night Pint, but we should just try to play Souček up front. You all laughed at me, and I'm like,
It ain't the worst idea.
fuck are
It
you
ain't the
I
worst
wouldn't have
idea.
laughed at you because I saw
think
getting
you
a
did
big
laugh at
target.
him.
No, I wouldn't have
I
laughed
think
at
you
you.
did laugh.
I saw
yeah,
getting a
you
big target,
fucking
man.
you belly laughed.
I probably
You
did belly
chucking
laugh.
like that. He's gonna
We'll have
Christmas.
we'll have to go back and have a look at that because I don't think I've belly laughed, but I do see a point of the big man, target man. You know,
But it's-
unfortunately, Souček's not got what you see with Fulkrug. He's not got that intelligence. He's not got that ability to hold up the ball the way Fulkrug.
No, but he
and
can
he hasn't
make-
got the ability to bring
I'm
people into
going
play.
to give Paul props today. His play was intelligent.
Yep, very
He was intelligent.
He's-
He's just got not the intelligence around him. And
Exactly.
Yeah. The Fulkrug's biggest, and I said this to Scott during the game. If Fulkrug stayed fit, Lopetegui would probably still be the manager.
Yep.
Because I think we would have had a lot more points.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I think he would have done because you can see the team.
Some of it was well. I think some of it.
Yeah, the team is better with Fulkrug in it than it is without him in it.
Yeah.
I know we didn't really see that.
That's
today,
it. Even
but-
when he's not scoring, he's making an impact.
Some of his impact, his hold up play and that today, even playing people in. He set up the goal. Yeah. Every time he's come off the bench over the last few weeks, he's the one that's causing the issues. Yeah. It's the people around him, and like. We've really got to sort it out because this cannot carry on. Listen, we're lucky this season. We're lucky. We're lucky that these are shits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah.
We're lucky
But-
the three teams that have come up and not very good. And I'll be honest,
Ipswich lose tomorrow. I think mathematically we're safe.
It's game over. It's
And-
done and dusted.
You know, it gives me no joy though because there was, you know, all season long there's always been, because the league's been so shit, there's always been something to play for, yeah? Even when we got off to the bad start, I said we can still make Europe.
Yeah.
And then we can still make the top 10. Now we can still make 12th, 13th.
Yeah.
And I know that don't sound much, but it's fucking something.
Do you know, but do you know what? If we
We can
finish,
go above Man United, we can go above Spurs.
yeah, if we
And we've
finish
been
above
able to
Man
do it.
United and Spurs, you could say we've been shit, but look, they've been shit as well. So
Everyone's been shit.
we go again.
That
Do you know what I mean?
to be 17th, I know we're 16th, but to be 17th at this point in the season, with the people that we signed and that, is a fucking disgrace.
And we had such a head start on Wolves, Everton, Palace. Right,
And
we're
it
all
all overtook us.
yeah. Wolves,
Since
we're
Potter's come in.
we're above Wolves, but they've got a game in hand. You know what I mean? But they've won 4 on a spin.
Yeah.
We haven't. When have we won 4 on a
and
spin?
that's the thing,
When have we
haven't
won
had a
3 on
run.
a spin?
We haven't had a run.
Have we won 2?
I don't think so.
And this is the worry, right? And this is where Potter has to take a bit of criticism. The fact that Lopetegui won more games than he has.
Yeah, that's true. But
But he has
to
left
be
the fucking
fair,
squad in the
yeah, to
fucking
be
state.
fair,
Yeah, he's
Lopetegui had 150 mil to spend
Yeah,
to get his players in.
yeah. And the same players are still
What do you
in
reckon?
there.
They are, but
Are they going to watch WrestleMania or fucking what's the name? They look like a couple of old
WrestleMania. It's Ric Flair over there. Look at that mullet.
But this is the
Fucking
thing.
hell.
This is the thing. You've
Pat
still.
Sharp.
I'm
Pat
sorry.
Sharp,
Potter's got to come in for a bit. He doesn't
no,
get off scot free.
He doesn't
It's
get
not
off
his squad, right?
Scot free.
Yeah, it's not his squad, right? I get that. But
He
we
needs
were
to have made more of an
bad under
impact.
Lopetegui, and we haven't improved that much. We've just become harder to beat.
Yeah, and the thing is, we are a -8 goal difference, -18, sorry, and that is down to Lopetegui,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we was 4s, 5s, and regular
You've got to
basis.
say that Potter has shown
he's stopped that.
He's showed that.
but
Yeah, we seem
we need
to
to be
be
scoring goals.
Yeah,
and
we
we're
seem
not.
to be scoring less, right?
But it's not. The weird thing is, it's not the Arsenals and the Liverpools and that we're failing to create chances. We create chances. It's when the team in front of you puts a low block in.
And but that,
We can't do nothing.
Yeah, we don't know how to break teams down. But I tell you what, even Southampton weren't
They weren't
overly
low
defensive.
block.
Yeah.
No, they weren't low
They-
block. They come here today and they fancied it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They-
Well, the
they
thing
just-
is,
they just put more effort
if you're
in, let's be
Southampton,
honest.
right? If
They
I'm
put more
a
effort in.
Southampton fan and my team are playing low block defensive when we're already down, I'm fucking fuming.
Yeah.
So what's the we got to lose? You might as well
Let's
just
tell
go
you
for
what,
it.
good luck to them and all. Good turnout today for them.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
listen,
that.
they was in good
Fans,
voice. They
good
was
voice.
Yeah.
Outsung us, as everyone fucking
Yeah.
does here.
Do you know what they were singing? Is this a library? And I was like, yes.
Yes, it is.
It
Yeah,
fucking
might as well
is.
be.
Yeah.
When you're watching that on the pitch.
I'll go read Great Expectations. Sit down and
disgraceful.
It is.
Today,
It is.
I don't know where it improves. I really don't. I want
Mate.
to see something before the end of the season, because I'm telling you now, all of that fucking March renewal thing and all that, they've probably done themselves a fucking favour, because if they didn't do that this season, I still think there's a lot of people not going to renew.
I've speak to so many people and they're on the fence. Brian, I don't know if I would say, but he's
shit.
He's wondering about, because I think people are just, it is a chore. Like I said, the only thing I enjoy about coming here is meeting up with my mates and all you lot.
I said this last night as well. When I see the result last week, when I finally come to conscious, right? And I thought to myself, thank I had tonsillitis. That's saying, isn't it?
Give me tonsillitis.
I know. And that's the thing is, like Mr. said, it is very much like coming over here now. It is more the social side of it than it is.
I stood there today. I had a Doritos.
Yeah.
I had a Twix.
Yeah.
I stood there chatting.
Yeah.
I barely watched the game.
Yeah, that's
And
what
every time I did look at the game, I thought to myself, I'm doing the right thing, yeah. I shouldn't be watching this at all.
Yeah,
That's it.
but I tell you what, like, I just want to speak on, because when I had a quick look on Twitter, I've had a massive break off Twitter,
Yeah,
like,
have
for
a break
ages.
off that shit.
I ain't been on there for like 2 weeks. So I had a quick look today.
I bet that fucking ginger comes wanking himself to death.
Oh, he is. It is. It's all like, it's still talking about boys, but there is a lot of Potter out, and that's what I want to talk about. The Potter out thing right now. I think it is a bit crazy. Potter should take criticism. Of course he should, but at this point, to say we should just sack him and get a new manager, I think is so extreme.
There's no point.
What's the point? They're not going to do it because they can sack him for nothing at the end of next season.
Yeah.
So they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And
He's here till January.
Unless we are in dire straits for Christmas, he's here till
and like we said at the start of the season, we've seen a lot of this
But he
same
should be given the same amount of respect that Lopetegui got given, and that is able to clear out a squad and able to build a squad.
pre-season a transfer window. Yeah.
I think, look at Ruben Amorim. You know what I mean? Like, even judging him compared to what he wants to do with the squad he's got, I think it would be very, very unfair. I mean, if they got rid of him now, it would be very unfair because it is not his side, and this is not his side. Listen, if it comes to the January next year and he's got rid of a load of players and he's bought a load of players and we're still shit, yes, absolutely.
100%.
But you know, and I said this with Lopetegui, and I'm not trying to change the thing. I said it with Lopetegui. Give him a go with the players he's got. He's bought players in. Yeah. Give him a go.
Yeah.
Give him a go.
We didn't see any progress
for
the whole season.
And this is the thing. I'm going to use this when you
But
look
don't
at
get it twisted, Scott. It would have been no better under fucking David Moyes.
No, don't get me wrong. I know that because I was at the end. I was very much. It is time for him to go. But you look at Emre when he went into.
Who?
Emery. When he went into Aston Villa, right? Villa were poor, right? Yeah. And he went and completely turned them round, with the same players.
Oh yeah.
You know? And this is the problem for me is that you've got to look. You have got to look at the manager sometimes and go. But there's a lot of talent in that side.
That you need to give the best now.
You had January. You're not getting a better tune out of them. Yeah. Than the previous, you're actually getting a worse.
But you know what the thing is, though, Scott? They made that change early in the season. It was like September or something, right? Yeah. So we've had like up till January under Lopetegui, where the players are fucked off with the manager. They're checked out with nothing left to play for.
But then if you get there and you're checked out, we still had something to play for. We still had the FA Cup.
Yeah, but that was his first game.
Exactly, right?
No, but look at the performance we saw there. Exactly. Well, what I'm saying is, Scott, and I'll let you come in, but I'm just saying the difference is Emery, they made that decision so early in the season. It felt like we saw the whole season ahead of you. We can do something. It motivates you. If we would have sacked, which would have been crazy, but we'd have sacked Lopetegui in September and Potter come in, I think we would have seen. I'm not saying we would have been like top 6 or something. We'd have seen a lot more.
But I'm going to be honest with you. From what you've seen since he has come in, how can you back that up?
No, because I think, I'm going to criticise him in a minute, but they're already done. Like,
so what you're saying so the reason we're in the position we're in is solely on the players.
No, it's not solely. It's mostly.
Mostly on the
Because
players.
at the
think they've
point
got to
is,
take a lot of
they're
blame.
done. They have
They
to.
have, yeah.
Because like I said earlier, 3 managers, same old shit.
Yeah.
And
No,
so-
I'm not disagreeing, mate.
Potters has to. He's coming in, right? He's playing different players. He's trying to work out what the fuck he's got to work with. Yes, game management you can talk about, lineups you can talk about, positions. You can get into the micromanaging of all that shit. But until you sit there and say, right, here's a transfer window, get what you want, have a pre-season, see what youngsters you want to keep.
I think-
see you want to go.
I do
It's-
think a lot of these players need to get to their summer though.
Yeah.
Need to get to the summer and see where they're fucking
But
sitting.
we had January where we signed. We could have.
Yeah,
brought
but
in
January's
players.
hectic.
It's
Hectic in
Yeah,
January.
I'm not saying it's not hectic, and I get it. January's always a
It's
hard
not- yeah,
transfer window. but
there's no
you
point.
can't tell me Potter, considering he was contemplating coming to the club for over a month, didn't sit there and think, do you know what? I need
But
this
then
player,
we
this
also
player,
set
let's go and get
Sidon
him."
straight after.
Yeah,
and
no,
he's-
and
You know what I mean? So maybe they weren't giving Stuyden the money to go and spend more.
we fucked Slides off. His recruitment manager didn't start until after the fucking window closed, right?
No,
And at the end of the day, Scott, no, I'll tell you this. I said this at the time. I said I would rather sign no one than us just sign people for the sake of, unless there's someone that we would sign in the summer.
I had
right,
big hopes for
the
Evan
long
Ferguson.
term.
Yeah,
I had
Evan
big hopes
Ferguson.
for
Well, I didn't have. I kind of thought like, do you know what?
It
It's
was
a loan.
it was a massive gamble.
Yeah,
It was a massive.
But it wasn't massive gambling. The fact of it's a loan. Obviously, we've paid some money, but we needed a striker, and I got to the point of just get a fucking striker in. He's had no impact, right? Okay, so he goes back to Brighton. Some people are
Yeah.
going, oh, we should have got our obligation.
Yeah.
It's a moot point now
I
because
think they've offered him for 40 million, but I wouldn't take
no,
him for 40 million.
I don't want to take it for 20 million.
He's, the thing is now, we're looking at him, there's potential there, but he's a squad player.
Yeah,
and
mate.
20 million is a squad player nowadays.
He could
You know.
go on to be brilliant. I've no interest. I've no interest.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the end of the day, like, we can look at it, and yeah, I tend to hate when you talk about sacking a manager, you go, well, who would you get? Because there's managers out there. But at this point, we've just gone from Moyes to Lopetegui to Potter in like what, 9 months?
Yeah.
Let me-
What is the point of
Yeah.
now? If we sack him and then you go get someone else,
Is there,
there's no point.
is there any, right, let's end with this, right? Just quick answers. Is there any hope of any success with Potter now? Right, can this season
This
still be
season.
salvaged?
by salvaged, I think, look, it rests on to me. If we don't win another game, but we beat Spurs and Man United, I think that is something we could potentially finish above them. That's success, and it sounds Tim Pot to say that's success, but as a fan, you could at least say, well,
least
listen,
we've done that.
at least we're better than them. They're shit.
And
but
the thing is, mate, I think that is all we've got to aim for, just to finish above them too. Because
Can you see it happening?
No,
yeah, it's so,
No.
like I said, after this result, it's so hard to believe we can win
This should be
any
a banker.
game.
This should be a
However,
banker.
because of what we've seen, I expect us to turn up in those games because they've shown what they are. They're big time Charlies. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
You know
We're
what I
like the
mean?
performance against Liverpool. So
yeah,
I
but
do
the
think you're
difference
saying,
is
but-
against Liverpool because Man United and Spurs are big in reputation,
Yeah.
but not in actual levels. We could beat them. Unlike Liverpool, because
is there enough players in that squad now that know what it means to have a London derby?
I don't
that I
Do you know
don't
what I mean?
think so.
And because I'm not. Listen, Spurs fans sit there and hype up when we play them. It's our cup final. It's not, because I've seen their bloody feeds and how desperate they are not to lose against us. It's their cup final, right? But this
Yeah.
year they've got bigger fish to fry, so they're not that bothered.
And fair play to them.
Yeah, listen. I think they've done extraordinarily well in Europa League. It's been great watching them in the league. They've been one of the most entertaining things of this season for me. But beating them will be a good thing. But it ain't a cup final, and I'll be honest, mate. At the moment, I can't see another win this season.
I think it's not. I think it's a cup final in the sense of I think it's massively important for the fan base right now for morale.
But
it's at home.
but because it's a London derby, not because it's Spurs. But
No,
it's a London derby.
but yeah, to win that game,
Yeah.
right, which is an important London derby, with the morale of the fans, that would, imagine we win that, the fans would actually come out the stadium going, fucking, we done them,
Yeah,
like, brilliant, like, we've got something.
We-
We've had
we
nothing to
normally-
cheer about this season.
we
Nothing.
normally-
Arsenal.
Yeah,
That's it.
We
yeah.
normally always have an impact in some team, and this year again it's been Arsenal, you know, putting the kibosh on them really winning. Not that it's been just our result,
that.
but
we've had nothing to cheer about at home.
No,
Ipswich 4-0. Even then, that's like, we won 4-1. Oh, we won 4-1.
Didn't even get a clean sheet against. At the time, the worst team in the league.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, like
I don't fancy this last game of the season.
Nor do I, mate. And this is what worries me, because
we don't
think they'll win enough. I don't think they'll win enough.
We're relying on them winning enough. This is the thing. I don't want to go into that game needing to win sake.
Mate, nah. Do you know what? I've seen enough of Ipswich to know that they ain't got...
honestly, listen, right? It only needs one dodgy decision, something like that. They're picking up the points, and you don't.
We'll see.
Do not want to go in that game.
Do you know what the thing is? I was thinking these players deserve to go down, but the problem is they don't go down. We go down.
Exactly.
We go down. They fuck off.
Exactly.
That's That's what makes me sick the most.
Yeah.
But we won't. I can sit here and say we won't go down.
No, we won't go down.
But it's not about that. What we're seeing, go down or not, it's not good enough. But at the end of the day, listen. Let's temper ourselves. We said when Potter come in, we said it's a pre-season. Whatever happens, that we all said it.
Yeah, can we stop playing like it's a fucking pre-season?
No, I know that, but most fans agreed, like, we was going to give him this as a pre-season, like, look, and it's all about giving him in the summer. Now, as fans do, when you actually have to experience the pain of it, that goes out the window. So then you're like, Potter out.
I really don't like spending electric.
Yeah, I know, innit? So let's just give him the summer, and then look, if we go fucking first few games next season, we're seeing the same shit, I'll be on there. Like, because you've given everything. But these players, I think they're mostly to blame, and they need to have a good hard look at themselves. And I've lost a lot of respect for this team. I don't identify with this team. I don't recognise this as a West Ham team that I love. The team's past. Like I said, we've been shit before. It was Upton Park, but we saw teams that you always felt like we was going to score.
Yeah, exactly.
I sat there. There's so many games we've lost and we got bad in. I was on the edge because I thought we was going to score. We didn't score.
Exactly. And what I said, mate, what they've got to stop doing, stop looking at their paychecks and start realising they're footballers and to play with a bit of passion.
Yeah.
Show their football.
Because when it's all said and done, your career's over. You look back. And can you look back with pride and go, do you know what? Yeah, mate, I was a good player.
Half of these don't give a shit because they're fucking millionaires, so that's all they care about.
No, I know.
By the time they get into first team,
that's what I'm saying, mate.
No, but yeah, when they're on there doing their punditry and all of that, and they're with the greats, and you're trying to sit there and go, like, I don't know, man. I'm just so checked out, dejected.
I think it's about money these days. But there we go. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match pint. I'll be back tomorrow with the morning after the game before on Easter Sunday.
Yes.
Nonetheless.
Yes. Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter, everyone. Don't let the result dampen your Easter too much.
Have your eggs. Have your Easter eggs.
Have your Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Have a rest.
Apologise for the potty mouth.
And spend the time with your family because that's what these breaks are all about. But thank you very much for joining us. One thing left to say.
Come on, you eyes.